Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I don't know if you have noticed, but my recent videos is just basically me spilling the conclusions that I've been having about my life lessons on the present moment. And I love sharing it with you guys. Basically, I'm so grateful for having you because I love this whole community. I love this whole channel, and every single one of your comments or new people coming in, it's my dream. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'm gonna say it, from the beginning. First, I'm gonna tell you a little update what is going on. So basically, last week I came back from Poland, back to Bali, where I study, and it was very hard to say goodbye to my family because I know in the back of my mind that the minimum time I'm not gonna see them is gonna be like 3 months. It's different, much different. When I was there, it was like my heart felt at home, because even though I love this place here, there is just like, it's my family. And I'm not saying, I love the Poland. I also love Poland, but it's the people that I love in Poland are the one that I really miss. Saying goodbye to them and just basically letting go was very, very hard. Just accepting like, okay, I'm not gonna be in their lives for a couple of months. I'm just gonna basically be updated, and that is all. Like, I'm not gonna have any impact in their lives. And back in my mind, I knew that I'm coming here and I'm starting all of my exams. So I come here and I study. There's been like this one situation that was bugging me. So I was just basically I was fighting with myself not to overthink. It's been hard just, killing this part of me. This shadow self part of me, because it's not healthy for me to do this way. This is like a toxic habit of mine, and I know I should kill it, but it's hard in the situations where you're put it under a lot of stress. And I came here and I also got sick, so that was like amazing, It was very hard not to think very negatively, think very like, oh my god, I'm not gonna pass it, oh my god, it's gonna be so bad, oh my god, it's gonna blah. Like the thought process is like something we have little control over. I mean, we do have control over it, but most people do not realize that we actually can have a say over what we think and what we don't think. I actually trained my mentality to be able to stop the thoughts that I do not welcome in my mind. This time was very challenging for me to actually not fall back into those habits of mine. So I'm gonna tell you like what I actually did, because like I said, most people do not realize we can actually shut our mind. We can actually just, when you start having a thought and you realize, because the first step is consciousness, and you realize this thought is not for your best good. This thought is not, it may not even be yours. Try another thought process. Try to think about something else. Like, it doesn't even have to be optimistic, like, no, it's gonna be good. No. Stop thinking about the subject that you're thinking of. If you're in this already negative state of mind, go all the way to another subject. Like, if I'm thinking about the exams and oh my god, I don't know if I'm gonna okay, what's for today's dinner? Like, totally kill the thought process, and after you like kind of calm, be like, okay, those may not actually be my thoughts. Those might be like the demons, and the negative energy from other people that was sent to me, or maybe actually, this overthinking side of me just trying to bring me down and trying to be like, okay, let's prepare myself for the worst. There's no point of preparing yourself for the worst. What the fuck is that? I never understood this kind of thing, because you're just double stressed, okay? Okay, if you're not gonna actually pass the exam, is it gonna do any good if you're stressed, before not passing the exam and after not passing the exam? And then like, what is the point? I never get it. So like, just stop doing that, because it's bullshit, basically. So kill the thought process, and after you're calm, just talk to yourself like, okay, so this is not what is gonna happen. I'm actually gonna pass this, and it's gonna be all right. Like, just talk to yourself as if you are talking to your child and trying to calm them down. And it always works for me, because basically those negative thoughts are sometimes our inner child just like being scared, being like vulnerable with their thoughts, with what they're talking to us, and they're like, oh my god, what if not? They're stressed. So talk to yourself, talk to your mind as if to your child, and it usually, like I said, it usually helps for me. And I think this is very understatement when people say, oh my god, talking to yourself doesn't. No, if you're really conscious of talking to your inner child as to another side of you, as not to yourself, like just spreading the words out there to fly. No, just speaking to yourself as actually to somebody. I'm gonna say everything's gonna be okay. But if you do not listen, you have to switch yourself, like your being, into two parts. The one that's talking, the one that's listening. And you actually have to talk, like be in the mind of the talker, as if you were talking to somebody. Try to have an effect on the talking, you know, from this part of you. From the other part of you, just try to focus actually on this as if somebody was talking this to you. I always do this with my mirror affirmations. I do this every morning. I stand in front of the mirror. It always helps this way. You stand in front of the mirror, and when you talk, like first think about what you're gonna say, what you're gonna talk about. And after you're in front of the mirror, just like look at the reflection as if it was like your other part of you talking to you, and say the things and you get the things, you know. It's like a whole circle, it's like a whole loop, and it actually works. Also, most people do not realize that the energy that you actually spread out there into the world, into the universe, like the thoughts, the what you're saying, it is manifesting the things for you. Always. It always works like that, because you are getting more of what you're thinking of. So if you're thinking of not passing an exam, you're like basically manifesting the not passing for you. And it's not like, oh, I'm gonna manifest a lot of money and I'm stressed about those thoughts. It's not that you're manifesting a lot of money, you're manifesting the scarcity of those money. Most people do not realize that the words you're carrying have different outbursts, I don't know how to say it, have different sound, like as energetically, depending on how you feel about those sentences. If I'm actually having an abundant mindset and I'm feeling good about my finances, I'm feeling good, like I'm very positive that I am going to have money in the future. If I want to manifest money, still having this mindset, if I want to manifest money and I say money are just flowing into my life, like travels are flowing into my life, job offers, like whatever you just want to manifest, considering the topic of the money, of the finances, and you're feeling actually very good, very positive about this, and you know bringing it in, that's good. If I'm feeling scared about money, if I do not believe, like fully believe that I'm not gonna be poor in the future, that I'm like what I'm manifesting is actually gonna, you know, come, then if I'm trying to manifest, but I'm very anxious about this topic and I'm saying money flows to my life, money flows, oh my God, let money flow to my life. In my mind, actually, like energetically, I'm thinking I don't have money right now and I want money, but I don't know if they're gonna come. So I think no money will come into my life, and I'm gonna, like basically this is the same energy. So if I am stressing over the exams and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not gonna pass it. What if I'm not gonna pass it? It's just basically saying into the universe, I'm not passing the exam. I will not pass this exam. Why would you do that? But when I realized that, I was like, I am never ever letting myself, just this overthinking side of me, get out of this, you know, cage that I put it in, because this is manifesting like bad stuff for me. Why would I want that? I will never let myself overthink and think negatively over the subjects that I'm anxious of. You have to start learning how to manage your stress, and the best thing I always say is meditation. Meditation, if you do not know how to start, you know, at the beginning, you just can, you know, put on guided meditation, and the biggest difference, try to meditate like 15 minutes 2 times a day, in the morning and in the evening. If it's too much for you, 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening after you wake up, before bed. Those times for a week, you're gonna see such a difference in everything, in your mentality, in your like spiritual sense, even in your like, you know, physically, you're gonna be less stressed, so you basically physically also are gonna be better. Even though this is supposed to be very stressful, you know, part of the year, because, you know, the session and the exams, plus I need to look for the new apartment because I am staying in Bari for, I think I should mention it at the beginning of the video, but I'm staying in Bari for another 7 months or 8 months. 8 months. And I'm super excited. I'm trying to make everything of this very fun. And this is another part of the video I wanted to tell you about, that Life is supposed to be fun. I said it like I think a couple of times already on my channel. Life is supposed to be fun. You didn't come here on this planet to be worried all the time. No, to be anxious. You came here to actually have fun, to experience, to feel. You came on this planet to feel. When even in the books, even in TV series, or in the Bible, everybody says that just humans can feel. Nobody else can feel. Like actually only here on the earth you can feel things. Or even there were like, if there are fates in the books or something, they don't feel. They don't feel, and they always say, I am jealous over the humans because they get to feel. So you are here, you can feel, and just choose to fully experience this feeling, because sometimes, even if it's heartbreak, even if it's worry, even if it's sadness, even if it's anger, those are all emotions, and emotions are so beautiful. Let them feel. And especially if you suppress the emotion, it's gonna be in your system, but not in a good way. If you suppress the emotion, even if it's the negative emotion, feel it fully. Just like focus, do not name the emotion, focus on the emotion and let it rise through your body. Different emotion starts in a different part of the body, So what you can do is make this an imagination that wherever it starts, for example, it starts here in the chest, it just spreads throughout your whole being. It just like feels you fully, and just like then it just flows out of your body. And I always do that. Like at the beginning, when I was starting, it was weird for me to just actually focus on every emotion. And you do not even imagine how many moments before you start doing this were just passing by you. And here you can actually fully experience the events that are happening to you. And I started saying life is supposed to be fun. So of course all emotions are beautiful, all emotions are for us to feel, but you can also choose to focus on a certain part of the emotions. Focus on the good things throughout your day. If it's a stressful time for you, focus on the little things. Like for example, when I'm doing my makeup, I'm like, oh my god, look how this concealer blends, it's so beautiful. When I'm picking out my outfit, I focus on the texture of the clothes. Like try to think on those little details. Like I am so grateful that I am this lucky to have those many things in my life. Like, oh my god, it's amazing. Or when I'm walking, and I love having scarves, and I have this my favorite red scarf, which is actually next to me because I just came from university, and I was walking like this, and the wind is just blowing in my scarf, and sometimes it just blows it to the back. And I find that I romanticize this so much. I love it. I'm feeling like one of these girls from the books that is very like, I cannot even explain it. I'm trying to romanticize everything that's happening to me. And also what is helping me through this very stressful time is praying. I pray a lot right now, and I've been very, I don't remember when I was this okay with anything that's happening. Like, I'm actually accepting every single thing that happened to me. And also, this one thing happened at the beginning of the year that was, everybody was expecting me to just fall apart. And I didn't. I cried a bit, and then I was like, and I was better than before. I was better than I expected, because I prayed and I was like, you know what? Let's just be for real. You know better what you're doing. I'm just gonna live it. Because I basically have nothing to say. Like it is in my cards written already. So whatever is going to happen to me is going to happen. I'm gonna give my best. But if I do not have anything to say over some things, like for example, I do not have anything to say over when I die. I will try not to die, but I don't have anything to say about this. So I will just try to chill. I will just try to be like, okay, I just have to trust. And the better relationship you have with God, or with whoever you believe in, with the universe, with the higher power, whatever you believe in. I believe in God, so I'm gonna speak as a God. So the better relationship you have with a God, the more trusting and the more calm and the more accepting you become. The more trust you have to somebody, to a friend. If you're trusting your friend and they say, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of it. You're like, oh, okay. And you actually know they're gonna take care of it because you trust them. So if you just met somebody and they're like, oh no, don't worry, I gotta do it. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like the better relationship you have with somebody or with something, like us now, a higher being, the more trust you put in them. And basically, it's such a flex that you get to have like the biggest power ever as your friend. The biggest, like the creator, like actually the spirit as your friend. If you are having a good relationship with God and you ask him about something, he's gonna give it to you. Or he's gonna give you something better. When you're very spiritual and you're also a believer, you can connect manifestation and prayers into one. And this is something that I do. Every time I pray, I manifest. Every time I manifest, I pray. Because basically, people, like when you manifest, you believe that the universe is just bringing you stuff. For me, the universe, the creator, the higher power is God. So like, if God is bringing me stuff, it's just basically when I'm manifesting, I'm just talking to him. So I'm like praying. So it's the same. So it's actually the same. So whenever I pray, I manifest. Whenever I manifest, I pray. And people do not believe me when I tell them the stories of the things that I've manifested. Or even like, I pray. This is not something that I can prove like to anybody. Like sometimes I was praying one day, you know, one evening about something I was stressed about. Like, please God, let this happen. Like if it's in your will, let this and this happen. The next day, the exact thing that I was praying for is happening. Or sometimes I was asking for a sign, and then I didn't pick the signs that I was like, okay, let the clouds be in the sky. No, I was very picky. Like for example, I was asking God if this is the right move for me to continue a relation with this one guy. And I was 17 at the time, and it was November. And November in Poland is cold, but nobody ever wears gloves already at the beginning of November. And I was praying to him, and I said, okay, please God, if it is right for me to do this, to actually go into something with him, let him have blue gloves, like not you know, dark blue, no, just blue gloves. Especially that, you know, people usually like wear black gloves, you know, so I know how it sounds. It's just specific, you know. I was like, let him have blue gloves, and he never wears gloves, like never. Like he usually wore black or white, you know. We are going out of the school. It was the second day. It was the exact second day. We're going out of the school, and I'm asking him something. And he puts out of his coat, guess what? Blue gloves. And I was like, I was looking at him. I was like, what are you doing? And he was like, yeah, I borrowed it from my brother because I couldn't find mine. I was like, what? This is the signs that I'm talking about. Like God actually, he can speak to you through the signs. And sometimes when we wake up from the dream, and we know something, like we actually feel something, but we cannot describe it, it's God talking to us. Also, if you wanna know if this is the sign from the God or from the devil, like from the good spirit or the bad spirit, God will never do anything to sabotage you, or he never does anything against his teaching. You do not cause harm to other person because we're all connected, we're all one. So if you cause something to other person, you actually cause something, like some harm to everybody. So God will never try for you to hurt anybody. Also, God will never try to push you into something that will hurt your spirit. Like for example, I don't know, like soul ties or something like that. So if those whispers to your ear are actually trying to do that, this is not a sign for God, this is actually a sign from the devil. Don't listen to him. And even if you listen to the devil by mistake, you know, you still pray, you're still gonna go in your way, in the right way. So what you can do is just basically pray and just basically trust yourself in the higher spirit. And I know trusting, like I said, it's very hard because it's like, oh my God, I wanna have the control and I cannot have the fully control. Try to accept that it's gonna be good. Like it's actually gonna be good. Like whenever you're asking for something, either you're gonna get it or you're gonna get something better. If you're actually friends with God, like try to just talk to him, you know? If you do not believe in God, try to talk to universe, higher spirit. If you don't believe in any of that, what are you doing in this channel, basically? But like, if you do believe in it, just talk to this creator that you're thinking of. Because it's mostly, we think of the same, you know, being, we just name it, you know, otherwise. So that's it. I think that's all that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. It's lovely for having you here. I love every single one of you, and I love it that we have a community and I can talk to you guys. I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you guys next week. Ciao, ciao.